This is going to be the intuitive energies and messages for September of 2024. Thank you for taking the time to be here with me. August was so full and so busy, and a lot of things were happening and going on. I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to do this September energy update, but I sat down, and when I tuned in, I decided I was just going to write down everything that came in. So this will be a little bit different than other ones where I've had themes and such. I'll just go through and read off kind of what had come through for me for September. And what I was really feeling was the first half of September feels very down to business. It was this feeling of really use this time wisely for things that might need some diligence, like certain chores, decisions, decluttering, cleaning, etc. Because the second half of the month feels a little bit more scattered as far as the energy goes, and maybe where and how you are using your energy, where it's spent, or how it's used. Take this time to make plans, make lists. If you are working on business plans or checklists of any kind, notes, you can just keep a notebook and jot stuff down that you need or want to revisit later. This also feels like it's going to be a good time to set goals, short and long-term goals. One of the first things that I had seen when tuning in was a spider web with water or dew droplets on it, and the words, "Put in the work now," came in. And that was followed by the feeling of satisfaction, like that feeling that if you do this now, it will pay off later, or you'd be really glad that you took care of that when you needed to, or so glad that you got this done earlier as opposed to later. The next thing I saw was an ice cream cone, and it felt like it went along with this being diligent message, but it was that message of be diligent, but also treat yourself every now and then. Another thing I felt was the feeling that ancestral energy will be extra close for each of us during September. And I was feeling like we are being helped. We could be receiving guidance, more signs from our loved ones on the other side. And then I saw a full moon that was shining down onto a body of water. And this reminded me of the moon energies for this month. And around the 2nd of September is the new moon in Virgo. So this makes sense why the first part of the month is a good time to set healthy goals and prioritize. 2 weeks later, we have a full supermoon lunar eclipse in Pisces. This will be a time to release whatever is not needed right now, whatever is not for our better health or for the good of all. It should be a transformative moon. And with the eclipse energy in it, that just enhances the letting go of things that aren't needed that go along with a full moon typically. On the 22nd, we have the autumn equinox and the sun enters Libra. Our energy focus may shift from more of the diligence energy to more of a focus on relationships, partnership balance, connection, friendships. There's also a lot of other planetary shifts happening this month that can have an effect on us as well. After that, I kept seeing a flash of the inner organs of the human body, with the focus mainly being on the chest area. It was like the lungs and the heart area just kept slightly glowing. I don't know if that's a specific message for anyone, but it felt like just take care of your health this month. Release what isn't needed for you for your own physical, mental, and emotional health. The last thing that I saw was a salamander. And I didn't know what this really represented, so I looked up some of the spiritual meanings for it. The salamander is often referred to as a fire element creature, but it's a creature that stays hidden, and it opens us up to secrets within ourselves. So that kind of made me wonder if there's some shadow work that could be done this month. It can also mean secrets within others and secrets of the spirit. And the salamander is a bit of a teacher, and it can teach us the importance of keeping aspects of our life secret, and to do this with some subtlety or not drawing attention to ourselves. The salamander is constantly at a risk of being killed slowly through the absorption of its environment, the toxins in its environment. When it breathes the air around it or swims in the waters, but the salamander itself is also a poisonous or toxic creature that can excrete poison. The salamander can be a teacher in this aspect too, as far as coming around at a time when we have a compromised health issue or something we need to learn along those lines, or something we need to learn about the toxins or poisons that we are living around. I thought that was very interesting, with seeing the inner organs and the lungs and the heart, that the salamander of all things came up, and not knowing anything about the salamander, I found this very interesting. The salamander can be like a shadow energy guide, like a spirit animal of the shadow energy. It teaches us things about ourselves that are difficult to confront, but can be profound. Often the traits that we fear most within the shadow guide are the traits that we dislike about ourselves. So this may be a time to learn more about yourself and face some of those shadow aspects of ourselves. Again, this month I decided to pull a card from the Messenger of Spirit Oracle deck, and the card that came out was the fairies. And this is card number 19, and this card often represents getting outside. Take a break, go outside and play, connect to nature. Being in nature naturally absorbs negativity and transmutes it into positive, uplifting energy. So the fairies also ask that maybe you incorporate some crystals into your environment. And maybe with the salamander and the ice cream cone, with being able to just treat yourself a little bit and take care of your health, different crystals can help neutralize negative energies around you. They can also uplift your vibration and shift your energy for a specific purpose. With this card, the fairies want you to place objects like crystals in your environment that do remind you of your playful side, or that uplift you, bring you joy. You can wear crystals as jewelry or carry one with you. There's things like essential oils that you can help incorporate into your life too, to help change this environment a little bit. When I looked at the bottom of the deck, The card was the Hawk, which is number 1, and that is change your perspective. This card is about seeing the bigger picture, getting a wider view of what your situation is, what's going on in your life. The Hawk has the ability to be laser focused on a task at hand, like the diligent work earlier in this month. But sometimes you need to see a little bit bigger picture. And this card asks you to take a step back and let yourself be guided by spirit, and let your spirit guides show you the way. This card is also about balancing both worlds of flying high and being connected to earth. It's also a message that you yourself are a messenger. This card can also be about tapping into your spiritual gifts. With that, I wish you the very best this month. And if you feel comfortable sharing your feelings or your thoughts, comments, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I look forward to reading them. Thank you so much for being here and for watching and listening. Until next time.